Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Education and Ritalin Part 1. For the last half a century approximately, the world has been exposed to the concept of ADD, ADHD, and Ritalin, and there are millions, literally millions and millions of children and adults taking Ritalin, Concerta, and other kinds of chemicals to deal with focusing issues or hyperactive issues. It's a very, very, very big topic, and I certainly in no way intend to trivialize the topic, but just mention a few observations. So, a few decades ago, the idea that someone who does not sit well in class, does not seem to focus, whether it's at home, class, or he's very jumpy, or she's very jumpy. I say he first because more often than not, the boy is one who's diagnosed more than the girl, but it can apply to either person individually, and that individual now is defined as ADD, ADHD. ADD meaning that he's sitting, is not jumping around, but just not focusing. HD, he's hyper, he's jumping and disruptive, not learning, affecting others around him. So this individual, in order to help him out with this challenge, this disease, this chemical imbalance, whatever one wants to call it, in order to help him out, we need to have chemicals to create the right balance. So this has become very popular over the years. And to me, there's a lot to say about this. And in this introductory share, I'd like to mention one simple point. There's a fascinating book by Dr. Stein. Ritalin is not the answer. Put out about almost 20 years ago. And of course, there's a lot more studies since then. It needs to be updated. One who has to take what he sees there and see the more recent studies. I would like to make one statement before we continue with other shiurim. I don't know if I fully subscribe to that title, Ritalin is not the answer. I would adjust it a bit. Ritalin is not the initial answer that I am comfortable saying. Go ahead, you meet a young man, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Some issues in the class, not learning well, not producing. We know he could be doing much better. Ritalin is not the initial answer that I subscribe to. And that is what I find, unfortunately, is often the case. First conversation that comes up. Meeting with parents, with teachers, about a child who's not producing well in class. It's our first meeting. We didn't discuss any options yet. And yet, often, the first word thrown around is Ritalin, Concerta, slow release. How many milligrams? What's going on? That's the initial answer. That I say no. No. Let's look into this child. When does he learn best? When is he learning poorly? What subjects? More auditory, more physical. When? The beginning of the end. We didn't even look into where's he sitting in class. Not to explore those questions and to right away come up with an assessment. He's ADD, ADHD, and this is the answer. No, that I fully hold by. Ritalin is not the initial answer. We need to go through a lot more steps before we even consider. And that, I think, is something we all have to work on. That cannot be the knee-jerk reaction to a child who's not sitting and learning well. That has to be one option that maybe down the line will be explored. Mitzvah Hashem will continue. Shalom.